around so that I can see where I need to see. Sorry, it's a bit clunky. There we go. Right, so that's it then. We're starting. Hi, John Monty. So this is a second one of our sort of official live broadcasts of TTG with Q&A session and a few pictures from me. We have done live sessions before, but different software, different ability. I wasn't able to see comments if I was doing it live, so it was all a little bit pointless, if I'm absolutely honest. So today I've got a couple of things to share and show with you, but again, we'll just be chatting, having a look, see if you guys have got any questions and suggestions and things you can throw into the pot, maybe answering some of our other subscribers' questions. Hi, Stephen Oakley. Delay is almost nothing. Well, from your end, it's fantastic. That's all good then. Gerard, hi mate. Pete, how's Blue? Blue is doing very well. So for those of you who don't know, Blue is my XJ358 or box bumpered, very late model XJ. She's a 2008 and she's a diesel. And she is my daily drive most of the time. I bought her very cheap, did her up. I'm still didding her up. She has many little foibles, which is getting better and better. And recently she lost all her water. She disgraced herself. And that turned out to be a little cracked plastic pipe that's between the right-hand bank when you're looking at the front of the engine and the suspension tower. And age had got to the plastic plus vibration, and it just split. So all the water fell out, so that had to be fixed. But other than that, she's going rather well. Thank you very much. Gareth Davis, video is about 1 minute behind the comments and the typing. Yeah, it's really odd from my perspective, but it's the best we can do. If I turn the latency to 0, then the image is destroyed. And I'm not worried about you seeing a pretty version of my face, but you won't be able to see the few pictures I've got to show you. Rusty Rovers, hi John. Thank you very much. Looking good, thank you. Skyfall looks nice, handsome. Why, thank you. Jerome, hello. Simon Ardit, hi from Simon A. And Michael DeWild, hello from the west coast of Canada. Thank you for joining us. Well, I'll share a few bits and pieces with you guys, and then we'll come back and I'll have a look, see what you've been typing, and see if we can have a conversation about it. So I'm going to flick to my share screen button, and one participant, and the screen I'm going to share with you is that one. And I'm just going to do that. And hopefully what you guys can see, if I just make the image a little larger for you, is a picture of Jason Bishop's car. As you can see, he's having quite the restoration done. So very excited to see how this looks when done. And I hope, Jason, you'll send us in an after photo to share with the gang. But yeah, that's some pretty serious work you're having done there, mate. Got front wings off. The A pillars are all dressed and ready for paint as well. So it's been in the wars at some stage, but that's going to look really fine. Now, Jason had a very specific question, but I was only partially able to help him with. So I'm hoping somebody else out there can help. And that is the rear quarter windows here on his car. He is in need of some of the clips that retain the surround on this. And I was able to put him in the right direction, but apparently there's 2 different part numbers. Top clips and bottom clips are different. He's specifically after the top clips, but obviously interested in bottom clips. Can anybody out there advise on the right part number and possibly where they can be obtained from, because he's really struggling on that. So it'd be really useful if he could help out. Excuse my rudeness, I'm just going to step away because I've got the sniffles. There you go. And that's how you know it's live. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to share with you folks. The next thing is, hopefully you'll remember Richard Smith. Richard is a regular contributor to the channel, always involved with the comments, etc. May well be watching tonight and right now, I'm not sure. But he's, I think, based in Canada. And Richard, we've featured his car before because he had the seats retrimmed in this sort of, I think he called it oxblood colour. I could be wrong on that. Or was it Bordeaux red? Maybe Bordeaux. And yeah, looks mighty fine. Well, he's been busy again because now he's got E-type style bonnet louvres in his car. So it's an XK8 rather than XKR. And if you're familiar with the XKR's louvres, then you'll know it's a sort of teardrop shape aperture into which a vent is let, and it is plastic vent. And that vent has a single set of vanes canted over at an angle. And they've got a bit of curve on them, but basically replicates this curve here. So it's a bit swish, 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 which doesn't look anything like an E-type. And yet our cars, in so many other ways, ape an E-type. E-types had square onto the direction of travel vents and 2 rows on either side. And although the scale is different, and they are less square because you can see these are sort of rounded in this direction, Richard has done the do and fitted these vents to his car. And that was achieved by getting a panel made up with these vents, cutting big rectangular holes in the bonnet, and then having them TIG welded in and dressing it and the repaint and all the rest of it. So a lot of work has gone into that subtle mod. I'd be really interested to know what the opinion is of the crowd, and I'm sure that Richard would be really interested as well. I've literally just noticed, Richard, your condensation on your headlight. So check out my video. I can't remember what it's called now, but there's the Headlight saga, and in amongst the 4 or 5 videos in that playlist, there's one on how to eliminate the condensation. It's my own little thing with basically a tea bag style little container inside the headlamp full of desiccant, and it's really done a great job. I've not had a problem since, but in fairness, I did rebuild the entire headlight. So just have a little look at that. Yeah, there's another angle of Richard's car. It's looking mighty fine. The other reason for featuring Richard at the moment is Richard has been manufacturing for himself and has started selling these items, which are genuinely a difficult item to get hold of. These are seat hinge covers. They cover the recliner hinge mechanism on our seats, and they do get cracked rather easily. My previous car, it was split in 2, and I did a video on plastic welding. My current car has got a small crack in one of them. It's really easy to knock them with your feet if you try and get into the back of the car. If you lift the seats out, it's very difficult not to lean on these things as you're lifting the seat out. They're very brittle. And certain colours you can still order. I think cream is still available through people like S&G Barrett, but other colours, cashmere particularly, is nigh on impossible to get hold of. And the others are going the same way too, and they're getting really expensive. So Richard's been basically remanufacturing these things in resin, and he's doing these in black. I've written it down here because I will get it wrong. Black, beige, cashmere, and carbon fibre, as you can see. And he's prepared to post them off, I think, more or less anywhere in the world. Pre-drilled, ready to go on, though you do have to put your old center caps, screw covers, that's what I mean, into the holes to cover up the screws. And he says he's given them a lifetime guarantee that you won't crack them. So they're obviously quite robust. You wouldn't make a claim like that unless you'd given them a good flex or two first. I believe he's charging around $75 each for them, which sounds a lot, but you try getting hold of them. So if you're interested, I'm sure Richard will see this and will reply to any comments underneath the video or to this chat. So if you're interested, then just express your interest in text or email or in the comments. I'm sure Richard will get hold of you. I do have his email address, but I'm not sure that's an address he wants to share with the wider public because it's his personal one. But there you go. He's also been really kind and he's sending me a pair of these covers. So thank you very much, Richard. I genuinely appreciate that. I'm paying for the shipping. And then I can fit them to my car and, you know, give you guys a few more video clips of how they look and how they compare and all the rest of it. So this is one of those rare parts that maybe we've got sorted. Thanks, Rich. And there's another one of our subscribers, Ian Reeds, who was very kind to me recently and has just sent me, for no other reason than, hi, thanks for the videos, an XK8 keyring. He manufactures them. It's the image top left on this screen. As you can see, this is Richard's company, Watermead Leather. You can check out the website. He makes all sorts of lovely stuff, including a Land Rover Defender key fob as well. And if I think if I roll forward, there you go. There's a close-up of his XK8 key fob. So I've got one of those. It's on my keyring, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you very much, Richard. Very good of you. Richard, Ian, even. Very sorry. So let me just stop my share and return to a screen where I can see you guys. So I'll just lose that for one moment. Very clunky, sorry. Ah, there we go. There's the YouTube page. Right, so that was our first little show and share. Let me just scroll back and see what you guys have been saying. Gareth video 1 minute behind. Rusty Rovers, Southern Outlets, West Coast. Okie dokie. So hi to Matt Adams. Hi Udo. Gerard, I've got some similar snaps of my X100 from a few months ago. Well worth it as the finish is stunning now. The X308 is in my garage with both front wings off as I deal with the dreaded orange cancer. Yes, it's got to be said, our cars do suffer with the corrosion, but you do have to keep reminding yourself of the age of them. And most cars of our car's age will have also succumbed. It is just one of those things that you've got to get used to with older cars, particularly in the UK's climate, it's got to be said. Yeah, look after them. Jerome, like the louvres, give you a different look. Great work on the finished product. Yeah, got to agree. I really like the look of them. I quite like things that are different anyway, so I'm attracted to it because it's a little unique. Def Gen Jag, hi mate, how you doing? Lovely stuff, says Callum Hardy. Can't wait for my XJ on Saturday. Woohoo! That's a nice day to look forward to. Going to spend hours waxing and polishing her. Yeah, enjoy. Jagvet 1, hi mate. Oops, late to the party. Is there any cheese and pineapple left? It's in the corner. Pop over there, Gary, you'll find some. Peter Golding, hi John. Peter here from Mallorca with Grandad's Jag. How you doing, mate? Yeah, another one of our regulars, and we've had many a conversation. Hope you're well, Peter. Udo, or whiskey. Whiskey's also good. Tony Fisher, hi John, late, sorry. Udo, Ibres, I'll have a cup of tea. So I'll just flick up another image for you guys. I say image, it's actually a little spreadsheet. Find the right button again, John. Share screen, but this time share this one. During our last sort of live conversation, we talked about, and I think this was actually prompted by Gary Van Remortel. Getting it, Gary. He posed a question: what does everybody think, particularly the owners of the older cars, are the bits and pieces on our cars that are going to break, wear out, etc., and they're hard to come by? What are the things that are going to render our cars unserviceable, unfixable in the future if we don't start either stockpiling parts, finding parts, maybe manufacturing parts? And during that conversation, we kind of agreed that some good categories to start putting this together as a bit of a log were electronics, body and external trim, underbody and suspension, plumbing, interior and its trim, and the engine bay and gearbox. I have tweaked them a little bit since the discussion. So far, the things that are coming out from various comments and emails, etc., have been window surround trims, by which I mean the trim that goes around the edge of the windscreen and the one that goes around the tailgate or rear window glass or convertible glass. And if you've got a coupe, also the sort of gutter trim, whatever we want to call it. They are really expensive and are getting quite hard to get hold of, which goes hand in hand, if you like, with the what's it called? I think they call it the waist trims. In fact, I will add it in. Waist. I think you spell waist like that. I'm not sure. Trims. They're the no, I'm sure it's not right actually. They're the trims that go at the bottom edge of your wind down windows and the bottom edge of the rear quarter lights on the convertible. And it's an aluminium trim with a rubber insert in it, and they start to flake and pop the paint off because they're Dorchester grey. The rubber starts to swell and they pop off. I was chatting with Gareth Davies, hi Gareth, earlier this week, and we were looking at his X308, and it's doing the same thing, but there's magnesium, I think he said, or thought, inside the trim on the X308 ones, and that expands. They're a bit of a nightmare, so they're going on the list. Seat hinge covers, ironically, Richard may have saved us, but they are getting hard to get hold of, particularly in certain colours. The bunny teeth is the correct name, but it's the overriders on the front of the XK8. and if you can get them, very expensive. I just noticed that my meeting has popped back up, so I don't know if I disappeared for a little while there, guys. We'll find out later. And then on the interior trim, seatbelt escutcheon covers. What we mean by that is where the seatbelts are anchored at sort of shoulder height, the cover for that does seem rather difficult to get hold of. Convertible hood seals, the bits that go around the windows, are getting expensive. They are all available, but they are getting very expensive. Seatbelt holdback clips. Some people won't even know they exist because so many of them are broken. Where it's on a convertible, I'm assuming it's on the coupe. Halfway between the escutcheon, the high level mounting point, and the bottom on the B pillar is a clip that you tuck your seatbelt behind so that it's out of the way and you don't put your leg through it when you're climbing into the back. However, they get snapped off just like that. They're really hard to get. Recliner catch surrounds. You've got a lift lever on the side of your seat to fold the seat forward to get into the back. The surround for it, very difficult to get. And I'm not sure of the title, but the solar load lens cover. On your dashboard, there's a little dome in very dark red glass, or plastic actually, and it just picks up the heat from the sun, and it works in conjunction with the air conditioning to try and look after interior temperatures. The little cover can become detached and lost. It can get broke, and replacement parts of that, I've not seen any at all. So that's where we're at just at the moment. But as always, very interested to know what you guys are seeing. We'll keep adding to the list, and then we'll look at putting together a sort of list of options, where to get them from, etc., etc. Graham Walker. There's me watching the wrong screen here now. Okay, Graham, sorry. Krista Nielsen. Hi, John. Hi, Krista. Jagvet, nice. Michael DeWild, does it matter if we don't run staggered tyres? Oh, there's a good question. No, is the simple answer. Not all cars were sold with staggered tyres. And by staggered tyres, for those who don't know, typically the front wheels on the XK8 are not as wide as the rear wheels. So they are different wheels running different tyres. I believe, but I'm perfectly happy to be corrected, that the 17-inch wheels are not staggered, that the larger ones are all staggered, so the 20s, and I think there might be a mix in the 18-19-inch of staggered and not staggered. I don't know. I'm looking at you guys to have this corrected. Where they're wider, the extra width is evenly distributed outside and inside. So changing a car that's got staggered wheels to having standard wheels won't have any detrimental effect. As long as the offset is correct, it'll be fine. So not all cars had staggered wheels anyway. Right. I've lost it. I've lost it. I've lost it. I've lost it. I don't mean the plot. I mean where I was in the list. Pi Moran. I've just had my wheels powder coated grey, the same colour as the mirror and the door trim. Ooh. Not sure if I've done the right thing, still waiting for it to grow on me. Oh, now I'm quite interested in that, Pi. The reason is I'm guessing the colour that you're talking about is Dorchester grey, which is the colour of the metal trims around the windows as well. I had the wheels restored on PJ, my previous XK8, and it wasn't done expensively, but they were done in a darker silver and sort of a gunmetal colour, not as dark as Dorchester Grey. And I must admit, I quite liked it. But then again, I'd stare at it with another XK8 alongside it and think, oh, have I done the wrong thing? Does the brighter wheel look better? So I'm on the fence over this one. I've seen the wheels done in dark greys and it's looked good, but I wouldn't be respraying or repowder coating the ones I've got now to make them darker. What do the rest of us think? Grey, good or bad? Jaguar one, we need a front spoiler. I just tore mine off. Ooh. Now, front spoiler. Do you mean the winglets underneath, Gary? Is that something? Because they're available. Front spoiler, front spoiler. Somebody else might have to help us out, unless it's another car you're talking about, mate. Gerard? Oh, no, he's disappeared. Robert Sanford. Good evening, John. Any suggestions for treating and repainting the window trims? Ta-da! This is all meant to be. You can take the window trims off. You can rub them down. They are aluminium. You'll have to rub them down quite thoroughly because they have a lacquer on them. And then in terms of refinishing them, you've got two options. One is to spray them Dorchester Grey. I don't have a paint code to hand, but it is called Dorchester Grey. And lacquer them again. I guess you could get them powder coated, which is a far more durable finish, but whether you can get the colour, I don't know. Or Gary Mees, who's JagVet1, who's on here at the moment. I'm pretty sure you, Gary, have got a chrome, well, polished effect around your windows. And I can't remember if that's something you bought or you just stripped all those aluminiums and polished them. So maybe you can share that with us. JagVet1, hi, Jan. No speaky. Oh, something must have broke down then. I'm back now, I think. Gerard, Toyota Sleeker trims, I believe, can be substituted for the X308 Sport waste seals. Oh, brilliant. Alternatively, oh, it jumped. Alternatively, there's a company I found that does rubber extrusions that will suffice. Brilliant. So, Gerard, I think we might need a website address or something. You can post that to me. Jagvet, I've just seen at the bottom of the list, I polished mine. Thanks, mate. So there's the evidence that you can just strip your old and scabby surrounds and polish them up, I guess, you know, just on a buffing wheel. And did you lacquer them over, Gary, or are they raw, so to speak? Jerome Mester, what can be done about the XKR dash? I live in Texas and the heat shrank and I have to either replace the dash or rebuild it. Replacement is very expensive. Any recommendations? Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. The top of the dash basically cracking, changing shape because of the heat. And you know, Texas, Arizona, all those places will do it. Lincolnshire won't do that. So I've got no personal experience of the problem. And I'm not aware if anybody sells a dash top, a tailored dash top mat for an XK8. It certainly won't be in the UK because there is no need. But in the States, there may be. So some people manufacture leather covers that are quite heavy and thick and are tailored to fit on top of the dashboard and cover up any issues. Replacing the top of the dashboard is eminently doable, but I've never done that, and I would have to set aside 2 or 3 days, I would imagine, to do that rather carefully, and then you've got to source a new one, and a new one is going to be a second-hand one, I would suggest. Yeah, so any other experiences from anybody else? Be interested to know, so that we can all give some tips for Jerome. Def Gen Jag. My 4.2 Atlas alloys are slate powder coated to match the car. There we go. So somebody else who's done the grey route. Jagvet one on my 99 XK8 convertible, 17s, both the same front and rear, the whole thing. Yeah, I was pretty sure that the 17s as standard are always same sizes. So you can definitely use non-staggered wheels. Jagvet polished ears, yeah, yes, and lacquered them. That's a good move, because otherwise it's a lot of hard work. I must admit, I would consider doing that on mine. I think it depends on the colour of your car. Would it suit a silver car? Nah, I don't think so. But I'm probably, I'd be on the fence over a white car. But the darker cars and the red, I know Gary's got a red one, I think the contrast could be quite nice. But I'm not quite there yet. Mine still looks okay. Yeah, the leather shrank, says Jerome. Yeah, it is a problem with the heat and it drying everything out. So it is a case of can you get an over cover for it? Otherwise, it's a replacement dashboard top. John Monty from Western New York. 2003 XK8 power headrest motors work, but the headrests don't move. I know what you mean. Yeah. It's quite a common issue for the headrests to fail. What's gone wrong is not the end of the world. It's basically cables that have come out of their little spools. So when the motors are winding, they're supposed to be pulling on some cables. The ends of your cables have become detached. So it's a case of taking the lever off at the bottom, at the back of the seat, rolling it up, and you can get inside and more or less see straight away what the issue is. There are some guides on how to repair that. I'm pretty sure, I will check after this video, but if you go on to the website, to the garage website, in the useful documents area, I'm pretty sure we've got some instructions on how to fix that that were sent in by another subscriber. I'll have a look afterwards. If there's not, I'll maybe find something. +1 on the headrest issue. Yeah, Def Gen Jag's basically got the same issue. So I don't have headrests that move, so I can't do a video and show you how. But I've definitely seen from some of our subscribers some info on that. I'll find it out or direct you to another video. Stephen Oakley, hi John, I'm going to refurb my brakes this winter the same as you did. My question is, did you have any problems bleeding the system through the ABS? No, none whatsoever. And I don't see any reason anybody else should. I have seen a few comments on other forums, nothing to do with To The Garage, where people have said, I've had to take my car to Jaguar to have it put on their machine to bleed the brakes properly through the ABS. Knowing how that works, I genuinely can't conceive of how that's an issue. I'm perfectly happy to be corrected on this, but I've bled lots of Jaguar ABS units of this sort of era, anyway, XK8 era, and I've never ever had any issue. It's basically just oscillating pistons. It doesn't really seal off. There shouldn't be a way for the ABS to prevent you from bleeding the brakes in the conventional manner. So yeah, I'm ready to be corrected on all this. Jag626 guy. Oh yeah, there is a TSB, that's a technical service bulletin for anybody who doesn't know, and a YouTube video out about the headrest problem. Excellent. I knew that was out there somewhere. Thank you very much, Jag626 guy. Any clues or links to where that might be, gratefully received from yourself or anybody else. That'd be brilliant. Robert Sanford, are the trims straightforward to remove to work on? The trims. I'm just winding back to see if Robert sent another message. Oh, right, the window. Sorry, I'm losing the plot, Robert. Yeah. They're not difficult to remove, says John. They're difficult to remove without bending. they're not very robust, and because they're relatively broad, you can kink them quite easily. So it's about care more than anything. Again, I've seen a video of somebody else removing them quite recently. Again, if somebody else knows where that is, please shout. Otherwise, I'll see if I can find it and put a link in the comments below this video later. But